Hello everybody, welcome back to another video, and in this video I'm showing you all the helmet Easter eggs or secrets in Minecraft Java Edition, like this beautiful bone on my face right here. And so apart from this one and the ones you've seen in the thumbnail already, there's even more of these secret accessories you can put on your head in Minecraft Java Edition. And so if you like Minecraft videos like this one, then please make sure you leave a like and subscribe to the channel for more similar videos in the future. And so indeed, sadly this is only available on Minecraft Java Edition and not on Bedrock Edition. I'm also not sure why they haven't made this the same on both versions. Anyway, how am I doing this? Is there actually a bone on my face? Yes, there is. There is a bone right there in my helmet slot. If you've played Minecraft Java Edition, you know you can't put a bone in the helmet slot. Indeed, if I take it away and try to put it back, that does not work. I cannot get it in that slot. And so to actually get the bone or any other item in your helmet slot, you will need to use a command. That's why there's all these command blocks behind me right here. And so the specific command we are using is the item replace command. And if you want a full tutorial on how to do this, then I've made a video on that. Link is in the top right of your screen. But this video focuses mainly on the secrets and Easter eggs. And so if you do want to try any of these out for yourself, then make sure to go watch the tutorial video on how to do this right after watching this one. And so how this actually normally works is if you use the item replace command with a regular block like a chest. Yes, I'm recording this during Christmas. As you can see, your entire head just becomes that block, or in this case, almost my entire head, because the chest is slightly smaller than a block, so my head is popping out at the top and the microphone as well. But you can see that my entire face gets replaced by the block, and that is just the regular behavior. And so something similar happens if we use glass, but this of course creates a nice illusion of being a sort of astronaut, and especially if you combine this with some iron armor. So that is already very neat. So what happens if you try to use items instead of blocks? Well, they just get placed on top of your head. So if you use this arrow and we place it on top of our head, it just gets placed there at the back of your head. And so that is pretty much what happens for all of the items in the game, except for a few I'll be showing you in today's video. And so another example here is the silence armor trim. It gets placed in the exact same spot and the exact same orientation, rotation and everything. So that is the regular behavior. This also means that if you use a small block like a button, you won't actually see anything on my head, but it is still there in my armor slot, which is of course useful for map makers if you want to hide a button somewhere inconspicuous. But alright, that's enough of the normal command. Let's get over to the actual secret Easter eggs that Mojang has implemented on Minecraft Java Edition. The first one being the bone, which I already showed you in the intro. It actually gets placed and it looks like it's placed inside of my mouth. As long as it's placed not in the same spot as that arrow and armor trim we saw before, that means that's one of these secrets, where they actually put effort into placing the item somewhere special. And so the bone is the first example of those. The second of those is actually the fence gate. So let's press this button, which will actually give us the different fence gates. And so if you look at our face now, yep, the fence gate actually works as some sort of glasses. Now my eyes are not positioned correctly for this, so it looks a little strange, but still it's quite cool and might work better for your skin. And you can see that this works for every single different type of fence gate, so all the regular wood fence gates, but also the bamboo fence gate works, and also the nether blocks, so the crimson and the warped fence gates. Every single one of those works, and so you can choose your favorite pair of glasses to wear in your Minecraft world, with your favorite color, as long as it's part of the wood set, of course. And so sadly, you cannot combine these different Easter eggs or items on your head. It only has to be a single item at a time, and so that means that we are rotating between all of the different items here. You can't have two different items on your face, and you can't have the glasses and the bone at the same time, sadly. And it only works if it's placed in the helmet slot, not if it's placed in any other slots. But alright, let's move on from the fence gate to the next one, which is actually the banner. And this can be any banner in the game. You can customize it as much as you want, and you can press this button and put the entire banner on your head. So it's not just the item form, it's the actual banner that's placed on top of your head, which looks absolutely insane and makes you twice as tall as normal. And indeed, as you can see, this is a banner with a skull and bones pattern with some red accents. And so any banner you can make with commands, you can actually put on your head as well, which is really nice. And so a nice use case of these banners would be, of course, to give players of different teams different colored banners, so you can more easily identify them when playing some sort of minigame. Again, I show off how to do this in the video where I explain how to use the item replace command. Go check that out right after this video if you want to do this for yourself. And of course, I am not going to show you every single banner in the game, because that would make this video a very, very long one. But alright, next up we have the lead. Now, what could this lead become if we put it on our face? Where will they place it? well, they will actually place it such that it looks like a monocle. At least if you have the eyes in a different position than I have, because now my eye is just barely peeking out of the circle of the monocle, but it still looks quite cool. I think the Mojang developers really had some fun when they went through the different items and thought of different places to place them on your face. Then after the monocle lead, we actually get to a fish. Now, how can you place a fish in a funny position? Well, let's just press the button and look at our face. And we see that the cod has actually been placed on the side of our face. And so we can actually see this better in the inventory, because there we can turn around a little bit easier. So we see that the cod has actually been placed in such a way that it looks like we are holding a phone. So the head of the fish is sort of near our ear and the tail of our fish is sort of near our mouth. For me, it actually aligns nicely with my headset on my skin. So I have two microphones now on either side. And so the strange thing here is that this only works for the cod and not for any other type of fish. So if you change this to, for example, a salmon and press the button, you will see that this actually just gets placed like a regular other item and so not like the cod. For some reason, they just did this with the codfish and not with any other fish. Yeah, the same thing happens with the tropical fish. So let's switch back to the cod so you can actually hear me again. And then move on to the next secret, which is the feather. Now, when you actually use this feather and place it on your head, you might not first notice that something is different because it's just at the back of our head, just like all the other items we saw before, like regular items. However, something is different. The rotation is different of the feather. And now it looks like the feather is actually sticking up from the back of our heads. And so the normal rotation of the feather is something like this. We see it on the item frame here. It's sort of diagonal. But if you put it on our head, it actually points straight up, which looks quite awesome. Then we have 3 more secrets. The first of those is the end rod. Now the end rod is quite special because if you place an end rod on your face, something quite crazy happens. You actually turn into a unicorn. Yes. Again, we can take a better look at this in the inventory. So the end rod is actually placed as a sort of unicorn horn on your forehead in an angle as well. So if you want to run around in your world pretending to be a unicorn, you now can by placing an end rod in your helmet slot. Then somewhat similar to the end rod is actually the spyglass. Now it doesn't get placed on your head as a unicorn horn, but it is quite similar. So let's actually place this spyglass on our head and let's take a look at ourselves right here. What is happening here? This looks really, really strange because the spyglass actually gets placed in the center of your face. Yeah, so right between the eyes, it looks quite derpy like this. Especially if I zoom in a little bit. Yeah, that is very derpy. And so if you look at our inventory, this is actually what it looks like in third person. So the spyglass is literally just placed right in front of your face, in the center, and looks absolutely ridiculous. It sort of looks like a big spyglass horn. Crazy. But alright, then we have just one final helmet Easter egg left, and it is the lightning rod. So yeah, both the end rod and the lightning rod have a Easter egg placement. So let's take a look at this final one. If we place the lightning rod on our heads, what we will get, it will actually be placed right next to our heads and look exactly like a snorkel. However, of course, it will not work. If you try to swim with this in survival mode, sadly, it doesn't actually work like a regular snorkel. You won't get air through the snorkel, even though it looks like you should definitely be getting air. You can still drown if you're wearing this snorkel, and it's pointing up out of the water. So yeah, don't rely on the snorkel. But it still looks like an amazing accessory to be wearing. And so there we go, those are all the helmet secret Easter eggs in Minecraft Java Edition. If I missed any, then please let me know about more of them in the comments down below, so everyone will know about them. And so if you enjoyed this video, then please subscribe!